So we're here at Ridgewood Downs. Ridgewood Downs is a master planned community, an eco-village of sorts that's here off of Mount Cotton Road, somewhere south of Cleveland and west of Victoria Point. And the purpose of this stop on the field trip is to demonstrate to you the sustainability principles underlying some of these communities. So if you look behind me, you'll note that the community itself is based around the idea of ecological sustainability. There's plenty of shrubbery and greenery and quite a bit of native vegetation around to underpin those sustainability principles. Another thing to look for is, characteristics that would be imported. So, for example, you have imported vegetation in some of the front yards as well, and so that might be contradicting some of those sustainability principles in other ways. So they've made a number of adjustments to the traditional housing estate layout here in Ridgewood Downs in order to make it more friendly to animal life and to make it more sustainable. So the name of this street is actually Sanctuary Drive, and the concept of the community is that it's ecologically friendly and ecologically sustainable, and the sanctuary is actually named after a sanctuary that would be provided to animals. So you can see a number of design features. So one of those design features, for example, is this median island here. You can see the median island is provides a bit of a stop or a resting point for animals as they cross the street. So coming from that direction, for example, if an animal were to be crossing the street, it would have a place to take refuge on its way across the road. Another feature here that's characteristic of this community is the chicane streets, so the sinuosity in the streetscape, meaning that cars can't come terribly fast. So, the fastest you could come on this road would be 50 or 60 kilometers an hour, which makes it safer for children, but it also makes it safe for animals. Another particular characteristic of this community is the fences. So the fences are meant to segregate dogs from koalas. We find that one of the main sources of koala attacks here in southeast Queensland is dog attacks. And as a result, if you have a dog, the dog has to be fenced in and therefore segregated from wildlife. If you don't have a dog, however, fences are discouraged, and therefore you can see a lot of open space. So the wallabies, the kangaroos, and presumably the koalas that are in this area can sort of traverse the landscape freely. You'll also notice that the roads aren't very wide. The benefit to that is that the canopy is connected at canopy level. So in other words, various animal species that might hop from branch to branch can actually safely traverse the road without getting caught in traffic. I just wanted to talk a bit about the concept of deep sustainability. So the idea behind the community, and this is not to talk disparagingly of the community members or the community itself, but the idea is really based around ecologically sustainable principles, and the idea would be to preserve land that would be of use to native species. Unfortunately, that ideal has been somewhat skewed by the fact that the community has developed around dispersed houses. So the houses are dispersed on quite large footprints, and therefore the amount of space that's sort of natural that various animal species are able to use is reduced. So really, if we were looking for a more ecologically friendly design, something for the future might be aggregation of homes in one portion of the community, and then preserving the rest of the community for ecological purposes with no human disturbances. Although I think the right intentions were expressed when this community was built and designed and inhabited, there is a lot of traffic coming through, which creates edge effects in terms of disturbing the habitat and keeping wildlife corridors intact. There's quite a bit of traffic in terms of noise pollution and air pollution, and unfortunately people do have domestic animals, and that creates a disturbance as well for the animals.